Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malachi Cowtipper, going to bring you another game of StarCraft 2, and tonight my opponent is Protean, so I hope that this guy has had his muscle milk along with his protein shakes and his power bars and everything else that you find in the new haircut video, The Return of Broski on YouTube. If you have never seen my new haircut, in fact, you probably should watch it as soon as you're done watching my video. Actually, watch it after you have subscribed and thumbed up all of my videos. That is what you need to do, and then you have permission to watch new haircuts. So, the map is Metropolis. I am the Blue Zerg, Malachi Cowtipper, versus the Red Terran Protean, and we are cross positions, which makes me, as a Zerg player, very happy because it means I can almost freely, at will, fast expand, take a third expand, get creep, and be so OP over the entire game that no one can possibly stand to stop me until he puts up a planetary fortress over here, gets tanks on the Zelnagas, uses, 5 dropships at once, and just snipes all my workers while my army is somewhere over here like, what the hell do I do? And I'm just kidding, guys. That's a little harsh. Maybe I shouldn't be quite that mean. So, right here we can see he has a supply depot going up, and it looks like that's going to be part of his initial wall-in that he's doing. And, it's not like it's a bad idea, but at the same time, you can build 2 barracks and you can wall off, using that. Usually you will see a supply depot in a wall, though there's almost nothing you can do about it because you do need to get your troops out instead of just doing a liftoff. But bunker going up straight after that, and the scout is going to be delayed just because he is, the cross positions does take a while for me to scout, so what is going to happen right here is I'm thinking, okay, we're obviously cross positioned. Do I fast expand blindly? What happens if I go and drop this expansion and I see, a Makarax and I don't even know what to do, but when I get up here I only see 1 barracks, I do not see any others. That's going to make me feel very happy about dropping a where is it going to be? Oh, 16. Wow, I'm waiting a really long time. Where's that drone? There's the drone. So I'm going to feel very good about this 16 expand because I can see that, I didn't check the tall gas. Should have checked it, but he's going for gas. So I'm feeling really good about the fact that there's not going to be any type of early, Marine Rush play. But going over here, I see the second barracks, and this kind of confused me a little bit to see that second barracks so quickly. And I'm like, okay, is he going to go for a fast push? But the gas is usually a good indicator that he's not because, he's pulling workers off of minerals. He's building an orbital command, so, this isn't going to be some type of, all-in mass marine play. Not that mass marine is necessarily all-in, but it just feels a little bit more like it. It's just the nature of it. So he's scouting over here, and he's taking the long road to scout me as well. So what that's going to mean is that by the time he realizes that I'm fast expanding, it's almost going to be too late. I'm going to have a lot of them out of there. These drones wanted to come out here and poke down the ramp just to see what's going on. And we check this out in the income tab. I'm ahead by 2 harvesters. Losing 1 because he killed it. That's right. Haha. That was actually really funny. I was going to go for a gas steal here, but he started building this refinery right as I went for a gas steal. My poor drone died a miserable, horrible death from a Marine's Gauss rifle. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Yep. Gauss rifle, C14. It's pretty awesome. A C4 Gauss rifle would have been kind of lame to call it that. So now that my second expansion is up, it's really going to be up to him to choose what tech he's going to go to try to defeat me. And we can see that there's a factory going up, so we could very well see a 2-barrack, factory play. He has a tech lab over here. Wouldn't surprise me to see, combat shield or stim pack be researched. And God, those upgrades just seem so cheap, for how good they are. But 140 seconds is a long time. That's over 2 minutes in game. And just looking at this right now, he's ahead of me by 1 harvester, but I do not expect that to last for long because I have queens going down at each base, speed is going down, and I'll have a few zerglings just for some scouting. So one thing that I'm doing poorly right now is I'm producing zerglings, I'm producing, drones, when realistically speaking, I have zerglings over here. I should be able to poke up here and get a feel for the size of his army, but I really don't know what to expect right now. So I have a bangling nest going down, but one of the things that you don't really need to do is you really do not need to produce, zerglings and drones evenly. Like, if you get in this mindset that, oh, I'll produce some troops and then I'll produce some workers, what you want to do is you need to just be continuing to push those guys out, right until you need to produce attacking units, because it's all about getting ahead economically. Once you have that, you're in good shape. And I can't even remember what I just decided to cancel right there. Actually, that was going to be an Evo chamber, and I canceled it because I thought, okay, I have no scout, I have no clue what's going down, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down an evolution chamber here and a spine crawler here. That way I can pull my queen up here and just hit hold position in case there's going to be Hellions. And then once this evil chamber is up, I'll be able to drop down a few spore crawlers in case there's going to be banshees, because I'm at about the 6-minute, 30-second mark. If he wanted to go for fast banshees, he could be. And if we see this, there's now a factory out. He is getting siege tech. He's getting stim pack. It's almost completed. The third barracks is almost done, so he has enough tech where he could produce a lot of troops and start to get an army out. But one thing that he does not have is an expansion. And what that's going to mean for him is that everything that he does is going to be delayed. You know, he's got a decent amount of, you know, troops out here, but now that we have an engineering bay going down, the fact that I'm on 2 base and I'm going to start to be able to pull ahead in the harvester count, and I did drop down quite a bit because I'm producing 4 spore crawlers, just because I was worried about banshees. I have not been able to get a scout off. I do not have any clue what he's doing. He's not pushing out. He hasn't expanded, so that makes me think that he's turtling up to something inside of his base. And I'm trying to move this overlord over here, so once this lair is complete, I'll be able to drop in a changeling and figure out what the heck my opponent is doing. And I said the engineering bay is now finished, and it's going to be interesting to see what tech he goes to. There's a starport, so one thing that I will say about this is look at all this tech. You know, usually when you see this, you'll see 3 barracks push out to an expansion, or you'll see, you know, a barracks and 2 factories, or you'll see a 1-1-1 build, or maybe 2 barracks in a factory, or 2 barracks starport factory. This is so much tech. This expansion needed to be being built a few minutes ago. You know, I'm sure he could have delayed 2 of these barracks to get this command center down and have it been floating over right now. And if we check this out, I'm ahead 36-24. I'm on 2 base. I'm getting ready to get my gas because my spire is on the way. I've got an overseer coming, so I'm going to know very shortly what I'm dealing with. These Zerglings, again, just letting me know that, you know, he doesn't have that expansion up. There's nothing on the high yields. I've scouted both of these, you know, just fine. So I'm actually feeling a little nervous because something's going on inside of here, and I have no clue what it is. And if we check out the army tab right now, he's actually ahead of me by quite a bit, 1,400 to 450. And even though he's producing a big army, it's taken him a long time to get to this. Like, his food count is barely above mine, but that's because I have 15 more harvesters than him. And I have a changeling right here inside of his base. I'm just going to tag his marines, and then I'll just keep this inside of here. And I can see, based on that, that I'm going to need some banglings, which I have, and then I see marine tank. So Muta, laying a few roaches, maybe a few infestors, and I should be able to take this game without a problem. I need about 4 or 5 more harvesters, and I'll have very good saturation. I will not have a problem being able to defeat this current 1 base Terran. What's up, Dad? Gonna go put some logs in the fire. It's cold in the house. So, and this is just kind of a lull in the game. I'm seeing, you know, I'm getting the Fumigated Carapace right now. God, I cannot pronounce anything. My English skills are terrible, and I'm taking a 3rd expansion. The reason why I'm getting that is when I saw the starport over here, I am also now seeing medevacs. So I'm expecting there to be some type of tricky drop play while he's pushing out. So I'm going to be spreading out my overlords around the map right here, just so I can hopefully spot any type of drops and use my Mutalisks to effectively counter that. So scouting definitely paying off. We have conch shells coming down, a few marauders coming out. So he's getting ready to do everything that he needs to push out, but there's no reason that he could not have done this while taking this expansion. He has so many troops here. We should have seen some bunkers, some supply depots, some kind of crazy arrangement of buildings to stop, you know, us from doing that, versus, you know, just sitting at 1 base for 12 minutes when I'm about ready to get my 3rd up and running. And another thing is that he does not have, you know, the harvesters to migrate over. Not quite as important with Terran as it is with, say, Protoss or Zerg, because all you need to do is drop like a few mules down here, and they can harvest just so much. When we take a look at this army right now, I'm actually ahead in the food count, you know, over him, and our army sizes are fairly equal. And at the end result, all that really means for me is that even though he built a big army, I was able to build a big economy and then still build, you know, a comparable army because I expanded out earlier. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need more banglings to deal with this, and I'm going to need, you know, more Mutalisks, because this is not necessarily easy to deal with. That's a lot of marines. The marauders are there just solely for the case of a few concussive shells, and if I cannot fight this, you know, out in the open, if I fight this with the tanks sieged up, this army composition I have could very easily get chewed up. And as you can see, my banglings are all positioned back here. They're not with the rest of my army. I'm really not ready for this push at all, and I have no idea that it's coming because I have not been able to scout this. You know, right here, I'm able to get a glimpse of it. I can see it on my creep. There's a scan coming up, and I'm flying in with these Mutalisks right now. I'm alerted to what's happening, so if we check this out right now, I am so caught out in the open. He needs to be sieging up his units, and we're just going to have to see if I can do anything at all to deal with this. So my banglings are going to get over here. He's able to micro away most of my banglings, kill a few Marines, but there's just too many Marines there. They're being helped out by the medvacs, and the tanks, the Marauders, all coming out there, all surviving. This lone Mutalisk over here just kind of chilling. 32 units worth of Zerglings coming out, so he needs to push in right now. He needs to get in there and start attacking my base, because now that my reinforcements are on this way, this army is going to be able to, again, not do all that much. He's doing a decent job at microing away from my troops, but the siege tank's actually killing some of his own men, being counterproductive right there. These medvacs are not going to be able to get away from the Mutalisks, and these Marauders are going to die, and no one is going home this time to tell their friends about what's happening. And these guys are just wearing so much armor that they can get away from almost everything. So OP with floating arms, oh my god. And this Marine, what are you doing? You need to run away, boy. So he's continuing to reinforce at my base. He's continuing to keep up the pressure. We check out the income right now. I'm at 49 over his 38, 51. I need about 10 more harvesters, and I will be in a beautiful position economically speaking. So I'm moving out with my Mutalisks. I need to find out, you know, what he's doing. And I actually really like this. The staggered building set right here is a very good defensive position, and he's actually migrating almost all of these SCVs over. And what he really should be doing is working on a third base right now. You know, this is just so many production facilities. This is going to be a total of 7 barracks, which is not completely inappropriate for what he has, but, you know, at the flip side, it just feels like he's building way more production facilities than he really needs. And the missile turret placement, not bad, but I'm able to get back here and poke away at the gas. And, you know, he's basically going to pull away his troops from these mutas, because he probably knows that if he comes in here, I'll just fly away. So I'm totally cool sniping his gas, and let's just see how long it takes him to rebuild that gas. We're at 1630 right now. Over the production tab, he has +1 infantry attack. I have banglings, centrifugal hooks, and he is going to be able to stop my gold expansion from going up. These Mutalisks are going to get back here so they can fight, and he actually snipes this before I can even cancel it. That was a huge loss on my part, and he's got tanks in this position, so what I need to do is a lot of banglings being morphed. I need to continue to spread my creep so I can have vision on the map. And what I need to do is not let this expansion fall, because if that expansion goes down, it basically evens the playing field as far as that is concerned. And we see more medvacs coming out. Banshees would not be an effective transition just because I do have spores, you know, at that base. He could maybe get away with some harassment over here, but, you know, I even going to be able to see drop play as it comes through here, but just because my spread is fairly good on my overlords. So he needs to be able to make something happen with this. And what I was able to do here is I was able to pick off one of the tanks with these Mutalisks and force a stim on these Marines that do not have a medevac. So a lot of these guys are down on a lot of their health. And